Have you ever felt like you're in the middle of a storm? Not a literal one with wind and rain, but a storm in your life. Maybe it's a storm of anxiety, financial trouble, or relationship problems. You feel like your boat is being tossed around by massive waves, and you're miles from shore with no help in sight. It's a terrifying feeling, isn't it? Well, there's a powerful story that speaks directly to these moments. A story about a real storm, a ghost, and a step of faith. Let's set the scene. Jesus had just performed an incredible miracle, feeding over 5,000 people with just 5 loaves of bread and 2 fish. The crowd was buzzing, completely amazed. After this massive event, Jesus needed some time alone. He sent his disciples ahead in a boat to cross the Sea of Galilee, while he went up on a mountainside to pray. Imagine being one of those disciples. You've just witnessed a miracle, and now you're sailing across the familiar lake. But as night falls, things take a turn. The wind picks up, and the waves start crashing against your small fishing boat. The Bible says the boat was a long way from the land, beaten by the waves, for the wind was against them. This wasn't just a gentle breeze, it was a struggle. For hours, these experienced fishermen fought against the storm, getting nowhere, feeling exhausted and helpless. Then, in the darkest part of the night, between 3 and 6 a.m., they see something unbelievable. To figure, walking on the water is coming toward them. In the middle of a raging storm, what would you think? They were terrified. They screamed, "It's a ghost." Their fear took over, and in that moment of panic, they couldn't see anything clearly. But then, a familiar voice cuts through the wind and their fear. It's Jesus. He says, "Take courage." It is don't be afraid. Just imagine the mix of relief and confusion they must have felt. It's not a ghost. It's their teacher, their friend, Jesus. But how? He's walking on water. This is where one of the disciples, Peter, does something bold, maybe even a little impulsive. He calls out, "Lord, if it's you, tell me to come to you on the water." Peter wants proof, but he also wants to participate in the miracle. He wants to be where Jesus is. And what does Jesus say? A simple, powerful invitation. Come. So Peter does it. He climbs over the side of the boat and takes his first step onto the churning water, and it holds him. He's walking on the water just like Jesus. For a moment, his focus is entirely on Jesus, and the impossible becomes possible. He's doing something no human has ever done. But then he makes a mistake we all make. He takes his eyes off Jesus and looks at the storm around him. He sees the huge waves, he feels the strong wind, and suddenly fear rushes back in. The very thing Jesus told him not to feel, "Don't be afraid," is now overwhelming him. And the moment his faith in Jesus is replaced by fear of the storm, he begins to sink. Sinking into the dark, cold water, he cries out the most honest prayer you can imagine. "Lord, save me." Did Jesus say, "I told you so," or "Why did you doubt it?" No, the Bible says, immediately Jesus reached out his hand and caught him. Immediately, there was no hesitation. Jesus was right there, ready to save him the instant he called out. As Jesus lifts him up, he says, "You of little faith, why did you doubt?" It's not a harsh scolding, but a gentle question. It's as if he's saying, "Peter, you were doing it. Why did you let the storm distract you from me?" They both climb back into the boat, and as soon as they are in, the wind dies down completely. The storm is over. The disciples, who were just moments ago terrified and exhausted, are now in complete awe. They fall to their knees and worship Jesus, saying, "Truly, you are the Son of God." They went from seeing a ghost to seeing God. This story is so much more than a historical account. It's a lesson for every storm we face in our own lives. First, it teaches us where to put our focus. When we're in a crisis, it's so easy to become obsessed with the wind and the waves, the problems, the worries. But Peter walked on water only when he was looking at Jesus. When his focus shifted to the storm, he sank. Our faith needs to be fixed on Jesus, not on the size of our problems. He is bigger than any storm. Second, it shows us what happens when we let fear take over. Fear is a sinking feeling, literally, for Peter. It paralyzes us and makes us doubt God's power and presence. But the good news is, even when we falter, even when our faith gets shaky and we start to sink, Jesus is right there. His hand is always ready to pull us out. All we have to do is cry out, "Lord, save me." He doesn't wait for us to fix ourselves. He saves us immediately, right in the middle of our failure and fear. So whatever storm you're facing today, remember this story. Don't be afraid of the wind and the waves. Take courage. Fix your eyes on Jesus. And if you feel yourself starting to sink, just call out to him. He is right there, and his hand is already reaching for you. Thanks for watching today. If this story encouraged you, please give this video a like and subscribe for more content that brings ancient faith into our modern lives. Stay strong and don't be afraid.